And I have been to the churches, and I've seen the churches, and they get up there and preach the same thing, the same method. Some of them think you got to get up there and shout and speak in tongues. And some of them says if you're not satisfied, there's one preacher for a number of years ago, he was a Baptist, I believe. He got preaching that if you're not satisfied with your baptism, you need to be real baptized. As a matter of fact, he kept baptizing people. That's not scripture. It's like saying, come to the conclusion that Jesus didn't save me, and I got to get saved. Jesus, if he saves you, you're saved. You ain't got to keep on that and go up there and say, I'm going to be saved. I'm going to become saved. I'm going to become saved over and over and over. That's not scripture. And some of them give an invitation every time, and the same ones a lot of times, every time goes up and they won't get saved. And now I think that people can go up and worship. But to go up and say, I've come to the conclusion I'm not really saved, I want to make sure I'm saved. Make sure you're saved. Where is your doubt at? You doubt that Jesus gave up his mind and didn't save you and is not saving you? You're accusing Jesus to come back on what he's promised you that he done, and you'll be saved right on. So I think a lot of them got different ideas that don't fit to me. I mean, they don't fit. Scripture don't seem like.
How long you been going to that church, Beth Albra?
I was born and went to it as a little baby. I was baptized so young that I don't even remember when it was. And I don't have any doubts that Jesus Christ has saved me. And I don't go to church Sunday. Say, I want to make sure I'm saved. That's to say that I doubt what Jesus did. If you say you want to make sure that you're saved, and you go up there and try to make sure that you're saved, you don't have to do that. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
You have to accept Jesus Christ and accept what he says and believe it. Now, I think there comes in another area that I also think about a little bit. A few months ago, we had a different preacher. He's retired now. The invitation was anybody that wants to go out and pray. So do so. And if you're sick, you might want to go up there and feel like you need to go up there and pray for healing or something like that. And I think that's all right. But anyway, the preacher came by me and says, what are you up here for? What do you want? I said, I'm up here just to worship Jesus. And there's no question, he slid right on to the next one and talked to him. I don't know if anybody else give that kind of answer or not. But now I think going up to the altar and worship, I think that's in order. We know that Jesus has already saved us. And worship him, I think, is in order too, to continue doing that. I think if we say we've got to go up and be saved again, I'm not sure of it, and I'm going to redo it and be saved again over and over. that's a weakness in a person, and it came about, I think, in the lack of the preacher really explained it, I think. Because I don't think you have to Jesus, I want you to save me this time. I want to make sure you do it this time. That's like you doubt Jesus.
What's your favorite book of the Bible?
My favorite?
Yeah.
That's hard to say. John is right powerful. I would say if I was going to identify it, I would say John. Acts is fabulous. Romans is outstanding too. And I think it's what you're looking, I think, because I think some of the scriptures explains and brings out certain things, and others don't bring out that same thing, you know. In Luke, the last chapter, I believe, in Luke, Jesus had been crucified and has resurrected and was appearing himself to different people down there. And he makes a statement that they're wanting, it seems like they're wanting answers and all that stuff. And he says, I have given to you the understanding of the scriptures, the old scriptures. You can go that and so to say that the New Testament is not valuable, terribly it's valuable, most definitely it's powerful because it explains a lot about the blood being poured out. And all that stuff, talking about those mighty men of Christmas, of church, God, and the prophets and all that stuff is leading up to the coming of Jesus. And Jesus himself, before he finally left the people and went on back up in heaven, he said he had given to you understanding of the Testament, of the scriptures, the Old Testament. And I've heard people say, I don't put any emphasis in the Old Testament. I don't understand it, so I don't read it. I just use the New Testament. I've heard people actually talk about it in that respect. And that's partially all right. If we deal with it without understanding what the New Testament has done, then we lack of understanding, I think. With a lack of understanding of the Old Testament and what it does. It's in the Old Testament where it brought about the sacrifice. The sacrifice was carried out and talked about before Jesus came in and allowed himself to be sacrificed. As a matter of fact, God told Jacob, Isaac, no, not Isaac, take your son and offer him as a sacrifice. It's one in the Old Testament, I think.
Abraham,
yeah. And without question at all, he started getting his stuff together. The equipment and all this, you don't need to do it. And took his sermon with him, and the sermon said, where are we going? And he gave him an answer, but I can't get exactly what the name was, but he gave them an answer. It seemed like something like, we're going to offer a sacrifice, but where's the sacrifice? Well, the answer is that Jesus Christ, or God is going to provide the sacrifice. And finally did.
when you get to heaven, What's going to be the first question you ask Jesus?
I don't know, really.
You don't have any questions for him?
I didn't figure there'd be any questions to ask. Can you give me an answer to it?
I can think of lots of questions.
Well, give me one for example.
How did he create the world? Or how did God create the world?
That's already been laid out. That God created it.
Okay.
Yes, he can give you the same answer again.
Yeah, but I know he created it. I want to know how he did it.
Well, you might turn to you and say, well, how were you created? I know what you're saying. There's lots of stuff that we don't know. My mind thinks in a lot of different directions. Now, I got a pile of sand back out. You see it, I'm sure. We got a lot of rocks in it. And I've been picking out a few of them, the small ones, and putting them in a jar. That I just started doing what I'm going to try to do. What I'm doing is searching to get rocks that are different shaped and different colors. And you can't, there ain't no way to know the answer to when all they were shaped like that, or what shaped them. Now, yonder where that water pump is, that little building, if you look between the building and that stake on that fence, you'll see a
well.
Oh, well, that's where the water is. Now, I was standing here when they dug that thing, a company that did it, and they dug down 35 feet and got plenty of water then. There's some stuff that came out of it, though, that surprised me, and I don't understand. Wood came out in the bottom 35 feet, and you look around now, this is flat land, which makes me think that humans didn't have anything to do with that thing, that wood 35 foot deep. You could see the grain in it, and there wasn't no doubt that it was some kind of wood. And it was just as black as coal. And I do wish I'd got some little piece of that and put it in a bag or something and saved it, but I didn't. If I was to start digging right there, I might could find some around there, I don't know. But 35 foot deep in this flat area here, is how in the world it ever got down there with this flat land that we're in here. So I don't have the answer.
Is that a question you'd like to ask?
I'd like to have a question to it.
You'd like to have an answer to it?
Yeah. But I don't know if anyone come up with the answer to it. And I'd like to, if I'd had some of it, and the scientist equipment and everything they can do and come up with different information, they would probably give, say, how old it is or how long it's been since it's been down there. And the answer might be several million years. I don't know. I think in the life of mankind is about 8,000 miles, 8,000 years. And they come to, when they wrote the Old Testament, they put a date up there at the top of it. The date that Moses got the information, put it down, 4004, which seems to indicate that was the oldest time that man could figure out or come up with, at least at that time. Since then, though, they found a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, not long ago, there's a story about they found some people, the ashes and stuff that was years and years, and they thousands and thousands years ago. But the oldest date that's listed in the Old Testament is 4004. And Moses is the one that is credited for writing most of the scriptures in the Old Testament. And supposedly God gave him the information and stuff to write down. I can't come up with any kind of understanding or explanation. Then all that, I just don't know. Well, there's little old rocks I've seen, different colors and different shapes and everything. They can be millions of years ago, them little things.
When it said the world was created in 6 days, and on the 7th, God rested, do you believe that is 7 days? Or is that a metaphor for many, many days? Many, many human days?
Well, they use the terms in days, 7 days, but as far as any other information on it, don't spread out. I don't know. They found somewhere up in South Carolina, down in, not South Carolina, but down the American, down towards the south place. Found people that believed to be, I can't remember how, I won't say millions, several, maybe over a million years ago. So I don't know. There ain't no way to know and come up with it. And God didn't explain and give the times and everything for everyone to figure it all out. I had a little piece about the biggest. It fit in there like, I guess, a little hand, kind of round and long a little bit. And it looked like it was different than a rock. And I gave it to Jonathan for him to check with some of the subjects, some of the in college that's studying stuff like that, to let him look at it and to see if it came here from an outer space as a shooting star, you know, and didn't completely blow up. That's what I think it was. But I hadn't talked to him about it, and that's been several years now. And he's retired and moving, and I don't know where that piece is now. And I don't reckon it makes any difference about it. I was feeling pretty sure that it was different than just a regular rock, kind of a gray, kind of a brownish little bit, but it looked like it had been burnt. But I don't know. Don't have no idea. Some of that stuff we can't get an answer to it. In the Old Testament and the New Testament, there was scientists, if that's the term to use back then, people trying to figure out this and that and the other. But at some time, a long time ago, they figured it out and got it all set out what a year is going to consist of. And those days, it's going to be different. The days, our days switch from more darkness and then another way, more lightness.
Well, that's one question you can ask when you get up there. How'd he do it?
Well, we probably won't have that on my mind to try to figure out.
What's going to be on your mind when you get up there?
I don't know. In the Bible, there's some women, I believe, a Ray woman asked Jesus, if I married a husband and he dies and I married another one, and all, when we die and go to heaven, who will be my husband then? And the answer was, you do hear that you don't understand, but you'd be like angels in heaven. So to be an angel. Maybe we'll be an angel. That was the answer they gave that woman, that maybe you'd be like an angel.
There is no marriage, you mean?
No marriages in the heaven, that's right. But I think in my lifetime, I can think of a couple of times when I have been in the presence of angels. And they helped me in a certain way.